Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel, BookNerd Nails. Today's set is inspired by Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. If you have not read the Ruinous Love trilogy by her, I highly recommend that you check it out. This is part 2 of the Butcher and Blackbird GelX nail set. Today, we're going to be doing the design to match the cover of this book. If you're a BookTok girly like me, who likes to read but also loves to have pretty nails, please like, subscribe, and comment which book series I should recreate next. Let's get into it. First, I want to start this off by saying that I am not a professional. I'm just a girl who loves to read and also loves to have pretty nails. To start off our design process, I'm going to start with the Foundation Base Gel by Beetles. And I'm just going to apply a thin, even layer of this to all of my nails, curing under the lamp for 60 seconds. After that base coat has cured for 60 seconds under the lamp, I'm going to go in with our first base color, which is going to be this magenta called D119 in the Cosmic Mirage collection by Beetles. I'm going to use this on all of my nails and do my designs in another color. But while I'm painting, I want to talk a little bit about Butcher and Blackbird. I don't want to spoil the book for anybody who has not read it yet, because it is an amazing read. When I first heard of Butcher and Blackbird, I learned about it on TikTok through the community known as BookTok. And if you've been on BookTok like me, your TBR list is 10 miles long and will take you 500 years to complete. When I first started Butcher and Blackbird, I was trying to get over my reading hangover from Onyx Storm. And if you know, Butcher and Blackbird is one of 3 books. The first being Butcher and Blackbird, the second book is Leather and Lark, and the third and final book in this trilogy is Scythe and Sparrow. It does follow 3 brothers that are all mentioned in the first book, Butcher and Blackbird, but there's a different FMC for each book. Butcher and Blackbird is based off of Rowan and Salome. It's kind of a dark romance comedy, which admittedly sounds weird, but it flows very well. Just trust me. If you've read series like the Mind F series by St. Abbey, you enjoyed that, you will thoroughly enjoy Butcher and Blackbird. It kind of follows the same theme as far as multiple deleters with a love story twisted in. Butcher and Blackbird I also found very refreshing in the banter. I love to hear for characters to have a good banter with each other, a nice chemistry that flows really well, and Butcher and Blackbird really provided that for me. I thought starting off the characters were immediately drawn to each other and great. I would not say it's a slow burn, but it's also not very fast paced in the romance department. But I will say that all of the tension and banter between the 2 characters makes the spice and romancy part of the book, so worth it. And this book does not have a whole lot of world building, which sometimes I find very refreshing. It is just set in the United States. But after reading something as big as Onyx Storm, where there's so much world building and character building, books like Butcher and Blackbird are just so refreshing to have. They kind of keep you out of that reading slump. I thought Bryn Weaver did an amazing job with everything. And there are 3 books, but Butcher and Blackbird so far has been my absolute favorite. I have not finished Sparrow and Scythe yet. I plan to get that one soon. Leather and Lark was very good though. And as with any book, please check the trigger warnings. There are trigger warnings for Butcher and Blackbird. Please check those before you read any book. Not everything is suitable for everyone. And Butcher and Blackbird is a dark romance, so there are some topics in there that are not suitable for everybody or may make them uncomfortable. Another thing about Bryn Weaver is she likes to ruin food, so just be prepared for that. I'm just taking my liner brush and kind of cleaning up around the sides, making sure that my polish is exactly where I want it to be. After that is done, I'm just going to pop it under the lamp for 60 seconds. Here is that magenta color after it has cured. I love it. I think it matches the book about as close as I'm going to get. Now it's time to paint the other hand. One of the things I also loved about Butcher and Blackbird is that Salome is a very strong FMC. She is very opinionated, doesn't need to be taken care of, and Rowan is a very strong MMC, but when it comes to Salome, he is very much a golden retriever boyfriend. It is a happily ever after so far in both Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark, which we love around here. I love happy endings. Again, I'm just going to take my liner brush and kind of swap this around my cuticle area, just bringing that polish down a little bit further. And dragging it right down the middle of the nail just to level it all out. This is much easier to show you since I am using my right hand for this. love to tell you all the nitty-gritty details about this book, but I loved it so much and I don't want to spoil it for anybody who has not read it yet and really wants to. Also, if you are an audio listener, Audible version of Butcher and Blackbird does have a male and female voice actor to do both voices, and it is so worth listening to, getting to hear their voices. If you follow Bryn Weaver on TikTok, she has recently posted a couple videos talking about the newest trilogy she is working on. I don't know if it's going to follow kind of the same theme as the Ruinous Love trilogy, but she did say that they were even more unhinged, which I'm very, very excited for. I'm a big dark romance reader and romantasy reader. I love the ACOTAR series. I have not read Throne of Glass yet. Also read the Crescent City series. But I think as far as fantasy series go, Fourth Wing was my absolute favorite so far. Always say that I have a favorite and then can never pick just one book. Sure, everything is nice and level before I cure this under the lamp for 60 seconds. For the art, I'm going to draw a couple components from the book and the front cover. Just dragging my liner brush through this black top coat. And then I'm going to paint a spider web on this nail. I'm just going to start closer to my cuticle and drag that line down where I want it. These do not have to be super precise since it is a spider web. I've got my main lines painted. I'm just going to go in and connect the lines in between using different angles and different lengths. Some of them I'm going to use that little arch line. Some of them I may connect diagonally. I'm just going to go back and forth connecting each of these. What my spider web looks like. I'm pretty happy with it. I can't wait to do these for Halloween. Since I've completed that, I am going to go ahead and cure it just so I don't happen to mess up the design. And for the next design I'm going to take a little fluffy brush, kind of pat that in, and then just patting the tip of this finger. Kind of darken it up. With this same nail that I have patted that black into, I'm going to reline my brush and kind of drag it up, making little lines, almost like a smoky effect. That. I am going to cure this and then add in some more just to add in a little bit of dimension. After I've cured that, I am going to go in with another black. This has a silver glitter in it. I've cleaned my brush and I'm just going to, again, load that up with polish and repeat those same steps, just dragging it up and through. For my thumb, I think I'm going to do a little butcher's knife to represent Rowan. I'm going to use a dotting tool to kind of draw out the handle. That. I am going to go ahead and cure that just to lock it in place. And since it's so small, it'll only take about 20 seconds to fully dry. After that has dried, I'm going to get another liner brush to draw out the blade that is going on this. Butcher's knife kind of has a slight curve at the top. And a rounded bottom. Gonna bring that out just a little bit. I am gonna fill this blade in with some black because we're gonna go back in with a holographic chrome just to give that some color. Let me make sure I get that black nice and even. And straighten out my line. Looks a little bit like that. Okay, I'm just going to cure this again for about 20 to 30 seconds before we move on. After the whole thing has been cured, I'm going to apply a little bit of a matte top coat to the handle. before we start the chrome, just so it won't stick to the handle. And the only thing I'm painting is the handle and a little bit around it, just to make sure it's not going to stick anywhere. This done, I'm going to take my holographic chrome and a little applicator and rub it into that blade. Wipe away any excess. Once that is done, I'm going to go back in with my liner brush and kind of frame this out. And then use my small dotting tool to add a little dot right there. Okay. Now I'm going to cure the rest of that under my lamp. That butcher's knife is cured. I think on this nail and this nail I'm going to do some drips starting from the top, and then this one a broken heart or a heart. connecting those drips that I made with a liner brush. Another small drip right there. I'm just going to cure that under the lamp before moving on to my next one. For this nail, I'm going to use a dotting tool. And make 2 dots. Start off my heart, and then just take my liner brush and connect those two. These are my finished nails. I'm going to add some cuticle oil. I love this cuticle oil by Bloom or Blossom. It's a watermelon scented and it is amazing. I am so in love with these. On my thumb I have the little butcher knife to represent Butcher, and then I did kind of like a smoky look on this one, and then of course the spider web for Salone, these strips, and a broken heart. With some isolated chrome. And then on my right hand I did a heart with B&B for Butcher and Blackbird. This hand I also did the drips. a little knife. And then, of course, some more of that smoky effect, which I am in love with. And then a little black spider, again, of course, for Salon. I'm so in love with these nails, and I think they really go with the theme of the book and the color scheme. Again, if you have not read Butcher and Blackbird, I highly recommend it, along with the other stories in the trilogy, such as Leather and Lark. And I have not read Sparrow and Scythe yet, but I'm sure it is going to be just as amazing as both of these stories have been. So please comment down below and tell me which book nails I should recreate next. And thank you so much for sticking around. Bye bye.